This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 13. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as a shaking of an olive tree, and as a gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. First and foremost, I would like to say, Kala Yah Bashem Yahshai, Bashem Kakdash. Double honors to the apostles, and I'll just greet Milson Ruel. Peace, blessings, salutations to the whole flag. Tell your brothers out to pushing the word in truth and sincerity. Shalom, tell your brothers stay strong, pushing the word quick lesson. I want to get into the fact that when it comes to America, people think that America is a free country. America is somewhere you can go to thrive and survive, and America's never going to fall. America's never going to diminish in power, in status. But according to the scriptures, America's on its way up. Okay, now you actually see certain things happening in the news where you actually witness America's downfall right before your very own eyes. Okay, now when it comes to all these different jobs and things of that nature, everything's about to shut down. Okay, all the food supply is about to run down. The water that people need to drink to survive, all that shit it's going out the window. Okay, so what do you think people are gonna do, man? People are gonna go crazy when they can't work, but they can't buy no food because the food supply is done. People are gonna be killing each other for food and things of that nature just to survive. Okay, so once again, it says, when thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as a shaking of an olive tree and as a gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. Exactly. Now, vintage is somewhere. As a matter of fact, let me look it up. Okay, the word vintage. Which is clip the grape crop. Okay, pretty much somewhere where people work to crop the grapes or whatever. That pretty much it represents a job. Okay, so it says when the vintage is done, because all these different jobs that people have, a lot of these businesses that are so-called well established, they're about to go out of business, and people can't even see that. Okay, there's more businesses out there that are about to go bankrupt. They're gonna have to sell everything, and they're gonna be out and out. So even when it comes to America, is a damn corporation itself. Okay, I forgot which president said it. I believe it was either George Senior, Bush Senior, or Bill Clinton, who said that America was an experiment. It was really a corporation. Okay, so America is really a big business for the elite of Esau. That's all it was. That's all it ever was, man. It was never a free country. Okay, America was built off slavery. Still to this very day, every single American citizen right now you are actually a slave. You're an employee to America, or really an employee to the elite of Esau. Okay, so America's going out of business. Okay, literally, everything in America is gonna shut down, and that's when you're gonna start seeing all these people. Like it says in the Apocrypha, the uproars of the people. You're gonna see all these riots popping out because they can't work no more. Their businesses went out of their jobs went out of they filed bankrupt or whatever, and they're no longer available for them to keep working. The food supply, like I said, so people are gonna go crazy, man. People are gonna go in the streets and burn buildings down, and eventually it's gonna get so bad that they're gonna have to call in the military. They're gonna declare martial law, and it's gonna be a green light on citizens that are they're gonna set up a curfew, and if you're out and about in the city or whatever streets you're from, there's gonna be a green light that the military has a right to shoot. Okay, to shoot on sight. So it's gonna get real bad out here, man. But once again, Isaiah 24 verse 13, when thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as a shaking of an olive tree and as a gleaning grapes when the vintage is done, man. So this is getting ready to happen. Okay, now let me go ahead and get the book of Isaiah in the same book. Okay, the book of Isaiah 32 verse. I'll start at verse 10. It says, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women. Now, this is really going to affect the women even harder. Because today's women, they want to be the so-called independent woman. You don't need a man to survive. This independent, single mother, fucking bullshit ass spirit. That's what Esau's been pushing to these women's heads, especially the so-called black women. They think they're Wonder Woman and shit. But they're going to come to find out that, that little Wonder Woman spirit bullshit, it ain't going to fly during those days, man. Those are the first ones that are gonna get caught up, man. All you women out there, okay, not just so-called black women, but the Latino women or so-called Latino women, so-called Native American Indian women, shit, even the women of the other nations. Okay, you think you're independent and strong? Well, shit, the Most High, hey, the Most High is gonna test you, and we'll see in those days, man. You women got something coming, man. Okay, but anyways, the point is, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless woman, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Exactly. So it's not gonna come, man. You ain't gonna be able to work out there to survive, to provide for your family. Okay, and like I said, you single women, okay, you know, you got your little business working for the white man, for Esau. You know, all that shit. You're gonna get fired. You know, you're gonna get fired by Esau, and then you're not gonna be able to, to supply your family with food and things of that nature. Okay. So we're gonna see in those days, man. If you're Miss Wonder Woman. Okay, now let me go ahead and get the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 16, verse 9, and it says, "Therefore I will bewail with the weeping of Jazer, the vine of Sibma. I will water thee with my tears, O Heshbon, and Elealeh, for the shouting for thy summer fruits, and for thy harvest is fallen, and gladness is taken away, and joy out of the plentiful field. And in the vineyards there shall be no singing, neither shall there be shouting. The treaders shall tread out no wine in the presses. I have made their vintage shouting to cease." Exactly. Because here it is, people that work in factories, pretty much wherever you go and people are working, everything's, everybody's hustling and bustling, right? Making noise and laughing, talking shit, moving crates or whatever, whatever your job is. You might work in factories, right? All that shit is going to cease, man. Pretty much everything's gonna turn into a ghost town. All these different factories that are making a lot of business right now is gonna be nothing but ghost towns, man. Okay, all these different jobs out there, these different businesses, ain't gonna be people working there. They're all gonna be shut. You know how they put those cardboard box, not the cardboard box, but plywood on the windows. They put gates on the doors, the lock and chains. That's how these businesses are gonna look like, man. They're all gonna decay and fucking crumble. So that's what's literally gonna happen, man. So be prepared for this. Okay, get ready for this. So now let me go ahead and end it with this one. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. I'll start at verse 1. "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." Exactly. So right now it's the time to come to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. If you're an Israelite, of course only the elect are going to be elected. But right now it's the time to come to the Most High. Okay? Because at the end of the day, look, the doors of mercy, they're about to shut down. And the Most High, as soon as he closes the doors, man, he's going to leash all hell. When the elect have been sealed, that's when all holy hell is going to break loose, man. So right now is the time to remember Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, it says, "While the sun or the light, or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain." It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." Exactly, man. Hey, like I said, all the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, meaning all these business, man, like I said, they're all going to be locked down. Plywood on the windows, plywood on the doors. It's going to be nothing but a fucking ghost town, man. So once again, I'm going to read verse 3 again. "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. And those that look out the windows be darkened." Exactly, man. There's only going to be a few grind, meaning, what is it to grind? Meaning to hustle, to get money, to be working. But all that shit's going to cease, like it says. "And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." Okay. But anyways, with that, Lord willing, it was edifying. Until next time, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, say shalom.